The room at the end of the hall. It was close to midnight when Emma finally reached the old boarding house. The rain had started an hour earlier, turning the streets into rivers of black water. Her cab driver had grumbled the entire way, swearing he'd never driven this far into the city's forgotten district. The place stood exactly as it had looked in the online listing, tall, narrow, and leaning slightly, like it was whispering secrets to the wind. The brass numbers on the door had tarnished to a greenish hue, 312. Inside, the air smelled faintly of wet wood and something older. The landlady was a hunched woman with skin like crumpled parchment. "Rooms at the end of the hall, third floor," she rasped, handing Emma a tarnished key. "Don't use the lift. It sticks." The hallway was narrow, lined with mismatched frames whose faded photographs were impossible to make out. The creak of the wooden stairs followed her every step, as though the house was aware of her arrival. Emma's room was small but cozy, an old iron bed, a desk, and a wardrobe with a cloudy mirror. The window looked out onto the alley, where a single street lamp flickered in a stuttering rhythm. But she noticed something strange immediately. Her room wasn't exactly at the end of the hall. There was another door, just beyond hers, a dark wooden door with no number. Its handle was rusted, and the frame was warped, as though the door hadn't been opened in years. She tried to peek under the crack, but there was nothing, no light, no sound, just thick darkness. That night, as she unpacked, Emma heard something from the other side. A slow dragging sound, then a faint tap. 3 times. She froze, listening. It didn't happen again. Over the next 2 days, she noticed things. When she passed the strange door, she'd hear soft whispers, too faint to understand. Once, she smelled something sweet, like rotting fruit. Another time, she thought she heard breathing. The landlady avoided the subject whenever Emma mentioned it. Finally, curiosity got the better of her. On the 4th night, at exactly midnight, she crept out into the hallway with her key in hand. The air felt heavier, thicker, like she was walking underwater. She reached the unmarked door. The handle was ice cold. When she turned it, the metal gave way with a brittle crack, and the door swung open. The room was almost entirely empty, just bare wooden floors and peeling wallpaper patterned with faded roses. But the smell hit her immediately, sickly sweet, like overripe fruit mixed with something metallic. The far wall had a window, but it was boarded up from the inside. In the corner sat a wooden chair. Facing it was another chair, and between them, on the floor, was a small, child-sized tea set, still holding cloudy liquid. And then Emma realized there were indentations in the dust. One set was small, like a child's feet. The other, larger, much larger. She stepped back, heart pounding. Something moved in the corner. It wasn't the shadows were moving with it. A shape unfolded from the dark, tall and wrong, its joints bending slightly too far. Its head tilted as though curious, but there was no face, just stretched, smooth skin where features should have been. It stepped forward, and Emma felt an immense pressure in her skull, like someone whispering directly into her mind. A voice, wet and soft. "Sit and pour." Her knees almost buckled. She stumbled backward into the hall, slamming the door shut. For the rest of the night, she stayed awake, watching her own door. At some point, she heard the faint clink of porcelain from the hallway. When morning came, the strange door was closed again. The handle was whole, as though she'd never broken it. Emma decided to leave that day, but when she went downstairs, the landlady blocked her path. "You opened it, didn't you?" the old woman asked, voice flat. "You shouldn't have. Now it knows your shape." Emma pushed past her and fled into the street. The rain had started again. That night, in her new apartment, she woke to the faint sound of porcelain tapping. She turned toward the corner of her room and saw a small wooden chair. Facing it, another chair, and between them, a child-sized tea set. And in the darkest part of the room, something very tall began to unfold itself. "Sit and pour."